Good afternoon. My name is Joy LaMartina, and I'm Lee's youngest child. I'm his daughter. In honor of my dad, I'd like to share with you some of my most treasured memories. Dad, one of the best things you taught me is the importance of having integrity and of living in alignment with your values. You modeled and taught me so many of your values. I especially appreciate you modeling loving what you do because it brings you meaning and purpose in life. Being generous, enjoying people along the way, appreciating nature and beauty, such as enjoying the sunset, growing flowers, and spending time outside. Having dogs as pets adds connection and joy to life. Taking frequent naps recharges our energy. Being playful and lighthearted is important in life. Finding hobbies that you love increases lifelong happiness. Having faith and trusting in God's goodness, and making plans to prepare for the future. Dad, your stamina throughout your 7 years of cancer amazed me. You got out of your own way by going on the road, continuing to work, doing what you loved, and connecting to people, even when you were in pain and did not feel well. I so admire that about you. Dad, most importantly, you provided a bond and an attachment with me that has been a foundation for me feeling deeply loved and accepted. Even though our relationship was complicated at times, you made an effort. This effort you made in me and in our relationship, it's one of the most treasured gifts you gave me. For you valued me, and you made me feel special. Whether it was through your frequent calls to me.
This is the churchgoer, just checking to see if you want to contribute to the church today. Hugs to you both. Bye-bye.
The mail you sent often, including newspaper clippings, you stopping by to have dinner or to drop off some goodies when you were on the road, the time you and Lynn spent with Tom and I and Annie and Tony at your place in Pequot Lakes, the things you did for me or taught me growing up are gifts from you that I will always hold dear. Dad, here are a few of my favorite memories of you. When I was little, you called me Posh-Pishel Pete because I called a popsicle a Posh-Pishel. You usually left butterscotch candy, Beeman's Juicy Fruit and Chiclets gum in your suit pockets for me to find as a child. You always brought me a gift, such as a stuffed animal, after attending a conference. One time you even put a watermelon in my bed as a gift from you. One year you wrapped up a bag of cooking beans, and it was the last Christmas gift I opened that year. I started to cry as I realized I wasn't going to get that beanbag chair I so wanted. Then you opened the door and brought in the beanbag chair. You taught me sign language so I could communicate with Susan, a hearing-impaired girl who lived with us for a while, and other children you worked with. You took me to work with you on occasion to Cedar Falls or Waterloo, Iowa, in Grant Wood's van, It had an audiology suite inside for testing hearing. We used to forage in the woods for morel mushrooms when I was young, and then you would saute them in butter. You fried fish in butter too, saying it tastes just like candy. You got us baby bunnies for Easter one year, and it was so fun holding and feeding them. When I was 10, I sent you a bill from JJ Incorporated for the allowance I thought I deserved. You thought it was funny enough that you started paying me allowance after that. You would often get silly when I was young, doing calisthenic exercises, singing made-up songs, cooking salmon loaf, and dancing with a wig on.
Good morning to you. It is your papa. I am coming through town on the way to Madison. Anyway, I'm in the rain today, but I've got a little tray for you, a little table if you want it. Give me a call. Talk to you later. Hope you're okay.
Your parents, Joe and Amelia, were devoted parents who valued family. We frequently visited our grandma, aunts and uncles, and cousins when I was a child, and attended family reunions. Some of our most enjoyable times were vacationing at resorts on lakes in Minnesota with groups of families who became dear friends of ours over the years. You and the guys enjoyed fishing, the ladies sat in the sun visiting and drinking wine, and us kids had a lot of fun together. One year we couldn't stay in cabin 4 like we usually did. You got up early and went fishing. When you came back, you went into cabin 4 and made breakfast. It took a while before you realized the people sleeping were not your family, and you were in someone else's cabin. Naturally, you passed out the coffee, shared breakfast, and made some new friends. You convinced me to work for you when I was in college. You introduced me to your sales customers, many of whom became your dear friends, who enjoyed seeing you and respected you. You taught me how to provide PR, marketing, and sales support to the many owners and managers of stores you sold products to. You did so many fun activities with Annie and Tony, taking them to a water slide, go-karting, fishing, tubing, and just the fun we'd have around your and Lynn's dinner table. Thank you for that. You were so comfortable and eloquent when you spoke at Tony's wedding and Tom's retirement roast.
I just want to say, first of all, thanks for all of you folks for coming tonight.
You showed an interest in Tom's single-track biking hobby, and you loved to talk about fat tire bikes and send him articles about the local bike trails.
And I just sent Tom a piece out of the paper about all the new dangerous trails at Cuyuna that he'll love to see. Give me a call when you get a chance. No hurry.
And wish you the best riding into the sunset on that fat bike.
You invited me on walks with you, especially on the beach in Florida, to look for shells.
I'm just on my way back from a long walk on the beach and finding some pretty little shells. I found a bench to sit down on. It's a cool day here. It's only about 65 degrees. But it was a beautiful sunset. It's just good and refreshing out here. There's only one little streak of clouds in the sky and a big orange cloud to the west where the sun is just setting.
In Pequot Lakes, we went on our last walk in mid-October. Annie enjoyed teasing you about the towels you acquired, so to speak, from hotels. You and Lynn made a special effort in August of 2022 to spend a special evening with Tom and I, enjoying our new patio and garden. I'll never forget that evening. Your whole face lit up while working at the sporting goods show that I helped you with in 2022 in Middleton, Wisconsin. You were so loved and well thought of by so many of your long-standing customers. You were determined and worked this show again in 2023, just weeks before you passed away.
This is Old Dog calling.
A few summers ago, one day you dropped by when we weren't home and you wrote, "The old dog was here," inside a box of decorative cards I had out on the front porch. I look inside that box often and I think about how many times you stopped along the way to show your love of me and for us. Dad, just like you wrote, "The old dog was here," you will always be here in my heart. I love you. Dad, thank you for loving me. Thank you for being my dad. Thank you, Dad and Lynn, for being so loving to Tom and I, Annie and Tony and their partners. Your legacy are the memories we each have of you, of what you modeled for us, what you taught us, and the positive ways you impacted our lives. Dad and Lynn, you both did everything you could to love and support your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, which you, Lynn, are still doing. And Dad, you are a true extrovert. You love people, and you do such a great job of reaching out and staying in touch with those you care about. I think of you the most often when I'm on the road driving, as I think about how often you were on the road making calls to all of us. We have so many fond memories with you, Dad. Thank you. Dad, you even modeled some important values in parting. In one of our final conversations, you told me that you'd had a good life, that you'd had and lived a full life, and that you and Lynn understood that cancer may be what ended your life. You told me that you trusted that the good Lord was with you. You told me that you were not afraid to die, and that you didn't want others to be afraid either. You were thankful, loving, and appreciative. We will continue to love, remember, and treasure you, Dad. We will see you smiling on us often until we say hello again.